I want to thank our Patreon supporters of the What We Remember podcast. Sarah P., aka Situational Daddy on Instagram. Sandy and Paul J. Nathan E., Jacqueline M. of the Top Rope Chef podcast. Matthew J. and Big Time Jim. Help support our show by going to patreon.com/whatremember and pledging a monthly amount. Thanks. Well, it said we'd never do it.
Oh,
but we're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
Because
I don't know what it is.
We know what it is. If you're paying attention to the thread that we keep in the Facebook Messenger, which no one ever does, even me, I'm to blame.
Look, I only know 5 messages back at any given moment, okay? So
there was a
else is lost
There was
time.
a fun message that was like 5 messages back that Andy asked a question to, and I photocopied the message and then sent it to him, and then he laughed.
Yes. It's because I was like reading through it.
Yeah,
and I
that's
guess
right,
I definitely skipped over a part.
That was really good.
I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Oh, boy.
Like, there it is.
Oh.
But my name is Bradley Jones.
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
I'm Andy Hubert.
And this is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to remember a movie that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. And oh, baby, Grease is the word.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olivia Newton-John passed away.
That's true.
That's true.
Bummer.
That's true.
F's in
That's
the
true.
chat.
I thought
there.
John Travolta was going to
She was young,
go
too.
before
She was like
70s,
78.
Yeah.
What do you think of Olivia Newton-John?
Scrolling-
Physical? That's a good song.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Let's
scrolling
get
through
physical.
her filmography.
That's her?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I didn't realize that either until she died and it was coming up a bunch. And I was like, oh, of course it is. Like I should have realized.
Isn't there a show, too, called Physical now? It's
Now
about,
there
like,
is, yeah.
dancing.
But yeah,
Been
scrolling
out
through her
for-
filmography is kind of insane. Like
With
she did
Rose
like
Byrne.
3 movies, and then it's just a million specials of her like concerts or like
Yeah, she
interviews.
She
or,
wanted
like,
to
all,
be- she's a-
tons
She
of
was a
stuff.
good singer.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it
just
was
leaned
crazy.
into that.
It's like Grease and Xanadu, and like that was it.
Yeah, those are the only 2 movies I could ever name.
Yep.
With her.
She's probably in other
It's
stuff.
it's
I don't
those
know.
they're
two,
both
and then
singing
she
movies.
did one more with Travolta, where it's like
Staying
they're
Alive.
like angels or something.
Right. How This Made did that. The movie. I
Yeah,
forget what it was
and then
called.
they have a special, which is the 2 of them talking about that movie that came out right after it. I was like, yeah.
That doesn't sound special.
Well, what happens in Grease? Do you know anybody in it other than John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John? Is there anybody that ever became famous?
Yep.
Off this movie? No.
Rizzo did. Oh God. She's in The West Wing. I can't believe I'm blanking on the name now.
It's okay.
I don't know anybody's name.
Yeah.
Stockard Channing.
Soccer Channing.
Stockard Channing.
I heard soccer, but I knew it was soccer.
Soccer Channing.
Channing. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's Rizzo.
Who's Rizzo?
That's
That's,
Sandy's
friend who's like a
sort
tough-
of bestie, but also nemesis.
She's also like a rough and tough lady.
Yes.
Yeah. She's the one that gets pregnant, but then doesn't.
Someone gets pregnant?
Well, they don't. She gets pregnant.
She thinks
and
she
then-
gets pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they celebrate because she's not pregnant.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it always goes? You think you get pregnant, and then you're not pregnant.
And then you sing bop
But
shoo
then
wop
you
it
are
up doo
pregnant.
ding dong.
and then you float into the sky.
What do we even want to say about this film? Let's think about it.
It's classic. It came out like
See, look, this
the
is going-
It's like Bad
Travolta-verse.
West Side Story. What is this movie?
Kinda.
No, this movie's good, isn't it?
It's maybe
It
West
is.
Side
I love
Story.
People
this
like this
movie.
movie, don't they?
It's okay West Side Story.
Even West Side Story gets boring.
No, see, this is great because we can file this into our generational high school movies list, along with like American Pie and along with
Isn't everyone in their
Napoleon
30s?
Dynamite
the
and all that stuff.
Travolta-verse really
Yes,
kind
they're
of
all definitely in their
exploded right
30s.
here because he prayed to, what was it, Scientology, and then he got Welcome
His
Back,
themes
Kotter, and
got,
then he got
Red, and he
Saturday
was
Night
good to
Fever,
go.
and then right into Grease.
Yeah.
Like, bang, bang, bang.
Knocked him out.
Bangity bang, she bang.
Chop lop doop doobity doop doop.
Yeah.
So Sandy's the new girl in town.
Yes.
She's from out of town.
And she's originally only supposed
This
to be there
movie
from
is.
the summer.
You were talking earlier about like
Summer
movies that
days.
feel like it starts in the middle of a movie, and it's
Yeah.
like this one is one of those.
It starts at like the
It
end of
starts
another
with
movie.
they had already met.
They had a summer fling.
Right.
They had a summer
they had
fling, and I'm
summer
like-
love.
Dude, every time I watch that part, I'm like, did I miss the opening?
I was gonna say your favorite song. You always break into it whenever we start singing other songs. Boom, boom, doo-doom.
Yeah, that's a classic. What we remember, summer loving, having so fast.
Oh man,
Summer
she's like, supposed to be
loving.
from like Australia, I think.
She is from Australia.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow.
The actual act, Olivia Newton-John, she's
Perfect.
Australian.
Does she have a
Easy
little bit of an
peasy.
accent? She from down under? She have a little bit of... Hey, John Travolta?
I don't remember
not
having an
heavy.
accent.
The shrimp
It's,
on the
it's,
bed of it?
it's very light.
Oh, okay. So she really tried to have a non-accent.
I think so.
He was trying to hide it.
We forgot the opening, which is like, isn't it animated?
Grease is the word.
Oh yes, you're
It's
right.
an
It
animated
is
opening
animated.
with Grease is the word.
Do you get to
is
see like the whole
word
movie,
that
or is
she
it just
heard.
like cars and stuff
She's got
happening?
moo, she got moo, she got- I think it's just cars,
cars
and
stuff.
title like
Girls with hair and
yeah, I think it's just cars
cool
leather
like
jackets,
70s animation.
sunglasses.
and people's names.
So
drawn
these are
out.
they're greasers, right? Is that why it's called
yeah.
grease?
The clique is called they're greasers.
They also are mechanic-y people.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, they're also that.
I also thought it had something to do with hair, but
That
maybe
is
not.
because they
Yeah, yeah.
have hair grease.
That's why they're
and they
called
comb it over.
greasers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
And
that's
also
the
they work on cars. Greasers.
50s, right? This is the 50s that this takes place.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Do up.
And also they do bribery. Greasers.
Malt shop.
Oh God, the malt shop.
We gotta go to the malt shop. We gotta go to the hot sock hop.
The malt shop is just the bubble tea shop of today.
Ooh,
wow.
I had to explain bubble tea for the first time to my sister. She had never heard of it before. I was like, it's been around a long time.
Yeah, was she
There's shops
living
all
under
over
a
the
rock?
place. There's a bubble shop every 5 miles now.
It's true. It's not for me. I'm not a boba guy.
Wow, they have slushies.
Well, they got the tapioca or the
I get the slushy.
Gummy
You might-
ones.
It's just a delicious
See,
7-Eleven.
I'm stuck in the grease era. I want a malt, and no one makes them anymore.
get that man a glass of malt.
I go to places and I'm just like they have shakes, and I'm like, can you do a malt? And they're like, I think so. And they reach into like the back of the cupboard and pull out like a dusty thing
Yeah.
of malt mix, and
You're like perfect.
and I'm like,
they
sure,
use
yeah.
malt balls.
Oh God, I hope
malt
those are, I hate those so
keep my
much.
clothes from,
malt balls are so gross.
Whopper,
Got stinking.
You got some Whoppers in the back. You put it in your
malted
clothes.
milk
No, Whoppers are the most disgusting
so
thing
gross.
I've ever
I
had
love
in my
a good
life.
malt, but malted milk balls are the grossest damn candy.
How do I malt something?
I don't know. I
you
always
gotta
got
get a couple
confused-
moths.
I got confused as a kid because then you like when you're talking about like beer and stuff, they'd be like, "Oh, it's so malty." Like it was a Simpsons
Stouts are
joke. There's a
malty?
Simpsons joke where
Maltodextrin?
Duff Man, there's like a secret like powder. He's taking the like Homer's touring the factory. He's like, "What's this?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a new secret additive that makes beer super malty." And Homer's like, "Oh, I bet it's something that'll just make me forget my memory." And he goes, "No, that's what this is for." They inject him with another thing. Like the dude drinks and he's like, "That is malty, but he'll never know." And it was one of my favorite Simpsons jokes, but it also made me think that beer just tasted like candy for a long time.
Oh, I
was
see.
like-
I see.
What are they talking about? I don't get it.
Malt. It's like wheat or something like that.
I don't.
Is it like
is
a
it a
protein
process? I don't know.
Is it a mix you put in something? Is it like Ovaltine?
Maybe.
Uh,
Is it a liquid?
Look,
Hey,
it's a mystery.
I'll
No
try to-
one knows.
I'll try to-
You gotta
Scientists
listen to
can't
the radio
explain it.
program to undo that
Ooh,
puzzle.
yeah, with
I'll
our-
try to
with our
make
decoder
malts
rings?
for the next.
decoder
Don't
ring.
hold me to it, but I'll try to get some malts in for
God.
part 2. We'll see.
I'll just bring a malt.
Don't do it.
It's a Colt 45.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Malt beverage.
Okay, so the movie does
that's right, the
open
movie. Yeah.
with the Summer Days song. What are they in school or they started
Well, it
school
starts
or
at
what?
T-birds.
Yeah, they're the guys are the T-birds, and the
the
girls
girls are
are
the pink ladies.
The pink ladies.
Pink ladies.
And they all have matching jackets.
Yeah.
Cool as hell.
Great bowling team names.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was trying to remember if it starts at all with like the two of them saying goodbyes on like a beach before it
That's
goes
all
into the song.
montage.
Okay, it's part of the song.
Oh, I could be wrong.
No, it's in the song. It is a montage in the song. They're on the bleachers. They start on
Okay,
the bleachers,
yeah.
and it's
Well, the
split
guys are,
screen too, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's split
Because the girls
screen.
are at like the tables out in the courtyard or something. Yeah, the guys are on the bleachers. But the
So what do we have? Danny Zuko
Yep.
and Sandy something.
Sandy
Sandy?
Sanderson.
Sandra.
That's all I know.
Sandra.
And he is like a nice guy to like. He's like putting on like a face or like using. Maybe it's his natural like nice guyness.
Is he trying to
But
do
then
a
when
Chris
he gets back
Klein?
with the T-Birds, he's like this cool
He's
guy.
got to be all bro.
Who has
He's doing a
that-
Chris Klein from American Pie.
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
where he's
He was-
peacocking,
yes.
presenting.
You're right.
Yeah, well, of course.
Yeah.
He's got it.
But isn't
What
she
happened
the
to you,
new
Danny?
girl
That's
in
just how I
school?
help. Yeah, she's a new girl.
She's the
Trying
new
to find
girl.
Well,
out.
yeah, because again, she was supposed to go home at the end of summer, but instead, she's now. So she like surprises him at the school. He didn't know she was going to be there.
Does she get transferred? Is
From
she there?
Australia?
I guess.
Did her family move?
Maybe.
Maybe that could be,
I think we maybe see her family life.
or maybe she was like she went to visit like other family that live in the States for the summer, and then her mom was like, "You can just stay there. I don't want you back."
Oof. That's rough. And this is senior year?
Yes, they are
It's
seniors.
always senior year.
I mean, they're all 40, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're seniors.
And every kid in the high school, it's their senior year, so that school's gonna be empty
yeah,
next year.
no.
Oh
kids
my
left.
God, how's
Kids
that?
coming in.
Hey, we don't have to invest in this school
Shut
anymore.
it down. No freshmen, no juniors.
Yeah.
There's no lottery to support this school.
What else do we want to talk about? I know about the evil guy with the car with the razor blades because that always weirded me out as a kid.
Yep.
That happens later. In
You know
the
who that
movie.
gang is called? The Scorpions.
Oh, that guy's like really bad hair. But
Yeah.
a really cool car.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a scar?
You think he does have a scar because they fight with knives? I bet at some point. I bet there's knives.
Well, yeah, he busts
some
out
of this
like
is
a
a
switchblade or
little
something.
like you would imagine, like
cone.
Rebel Without a Cause,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
kinda
And it's
that
always like
era.
that's their rival. They're trying to build their car in order to beat the Scorpions because the Scorpions have a kick-ass car already.
And the bet is always like for the other person's car, right? When you're doing drag
Yeah,
races.
you're
You play for the keys.
Yeah,
for
racing for
slips.
pinks. Yeah, pink
Slips.
slips.
And it's not even Danny Zuko who races that guy. It's another guy
Kaneki.
who is the boyfriend of
Rizzo.
Rizzo.
Yeah, Kaneki.
Sucker Channing.
Which is a crazy name,
Rizzo?
Kaneki.
Oh.
Kaneki.
Yeah,
I know
that.
Kaneki in real life.
no kidding. There you go.
Probably named after the same one.
Could be.
Because Rizzo's the name of the rat in the Muppets. So
Rizzo the
that's true.
Rat? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Gonzo's rat named Rizzo.
Yep. There's like
So he's got his story of like wanting to prove.
he kind of has. Yeah, he has
is
his
he
own
the leader
thing.
of the T-Birds?
It's unclear. They sort of like
Or are they, like,
co-lead,
they
and
co-lead?
it sort of seems like there's a point where they like, I don't know. Kaneki seems to sort of push Danny out of the way. He's sort of like, "You gone soft, bro," and kind of try like
You're
sort
in
of
love with a
takes over.
girl. What are you, gay?
Something like that. Right. And yeah, you're right. He is the one that races the car at the
Kiss
end.
me
like,
to prove you're not gay.
yeah.
It's the 50s. Give me that hot rod.
Ooh, okay. I don't want to. Do I have to be part of this gang
Right.
anymore?
Do they all like share a car, or they each have their own car?
No, well, like
Danny have a
they
car?
They have cars, but the car specifically, their race is they're building it in auto shop.
Yes.
At class,
Right.
Like,
They're
the
building
beginning
a very
of the
special
film,
car.
It's like a junker that they roll into shop, and they're like, "This is our semester-long
Yeah.
project."
And then we get the
Yeah.
the terrible. I say Grease Lightning. It's the probably
Go
my least
grease
favorite.
Yeah, that's
lightning, grease lightning, go grease lightning. It's like Elvis.
I think it's misogynist too. I forget exactly
Oh, is
the
it?
lines of the song.
Oh, I'm sure
Yeah.
this movie is.
Yeah.
Like, it's the 70s, but we're doing it about the 50s, so lead in.
Yeah, just layer it on there.
Do it thick.
And then we on the girls' side, we have the barbershop beauty school
Frenchie.
dropout Frenchie.
Frenchie.
so-
She's weird looking.
So we sort of got like
Yeah.
three.
She's definitely way
ladies.
too old.
We
She's
probably
like
have,
the oldest.
we probably have three guys doing a thing. There's like a weasel.
There's a mousy dude, mousy dude, and then there's like
And they all
there's-
each like match up like Alvin and the Chipmunk style, where like their boyfriend
Yes,
girlfriend.
you're right, because there is a chipmunky pink lady too, and the two of them get together.
Mm-hmm.
She gets together with the mousy guy.
Is there also a guy, I might just be making this up, but a guy who's like really like kind of dorky, but he's trying to get into the group or something like that?
Yeah, you in this podcast.
Hello.
Hey,
Heyo, I'm out of here. I gotta go.
I think there is like a nerd, like a straight up like nerd that they.
A nerd.
Yeah,
Nerd is the word.
That he like maybe flirts with one of the girls, and like one of the greases comes over and like puts a pie in
oh,
his
it's
face
gotta
or
happen,
something.
right?
Puts a malt shop down his trousers with the suspenders out.
Yeah.
One day I'll be good. This will be my word.
In today's woke media, you're supposed to feel sorry for that nerd, but this is a manly movie where you're like, yeah, Yeah, get it, nerd. Get it, dude. That's what you get for glasses.
Slide him across the bar of the malt shop.
Breaking a glass on his head. Like, yeah.
Everyone's just cheering.
Go to the hospital.
Kill him! Kill him! Kill him!
That was weird.
It got really strange.
Yeah, wow. Oof.
So beauty school dropout, Grease lightning. Grease is the word.
Grease is the word is just the opening. It has nothing to do with the
but
movie.
it's a song.
Well, it sets
Count
up.
it.
So what
I
happened?
think it was a song that came
Grease
out
the word, yeah.
after the movie was made,
Isn't
too.
it
Yeah, I don't
maybe
know.
Newton John sings like a sad, sappy song at some point?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Something
She has one where
because Danny Zuko's a jerk to her.
There's a couple times.
I came all the way from Australia and you're a jerk?
Yeah, when they finally meet back up at school, and he's like, Sandy, and she's like, hey, like, here's the sweet boy you're talking. And all the pink ladies are like, wait, the boy you were talking about was Danny Zuko?
This guy has banged all of us and our dads.
And,
What? That's a weird...
And it's where, like, Danny starts to be, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see it. And then he realizes the dudes are watching. He's like, I mean, whatever, broad.
Broad.
Sandy! Danny? What are you doing here? I thought you were going back to Australia.
We had to change of plans.
I can't... Well, that's cool, baby. I mean, you know how it is. Rocked in and rolled in and whatnot.
Danny?
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
What's the matter with you?
What's the matter with me, baby? What's the matter with you?
What happened to the Danny Zuko I met at the beach?
Well, I do not know. I mean, maybe, maybe there's two of us, right? Why don't you take out a missing persons ad or try the yellow pages? I don't know.
You're a fake and a phony, and I wish I'd never laid eyes on you.
Whoa.
I guess we, like, had a fling, but it's just like a one-night stand.
It's over,
Yeah.
bitch. It's like,
Yeah, she gets on. She's like, you were so sensitive. And the guy's like, Danny was sensitive.
Got him!
And he's like, damn it.
Chick suck! Like, what?
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
our idea of what
Most
the
of you are
50s
dating
were.
each other. What are you talking about?
Our idea of what the 50s are is so funny.
It's okay because by the time we get at the ending, the correct thing has happened where instead of Danny actually being a nice guy, Sandy changes into
Right to him.
a bad person, and for him, and that's the
right,
happy
right,
ending.
right.
You were going to say something else.
That's the
but-
moral of the story, right? You change for
You
somebody.
change for
into
somebody
a bad
else,
way.
and then
Yeah.
you dance through a carnival.
You completely change who
And
you
then
Then
are.
you're allowed to
car.
fly into a car.
Yeah.
Into the sky.
Oh man.
What else happens? Frenchie
So-
gets rich. She doesn't go to beauty school.
She drops out of high school
to go to beauty school
or
and
to go to beauty
fails.
school and then flunks
She
out
drops
of beauty
both
school.
things.
But then does she go back to high school?
Because beauty
Go back
school
to high
dropout
school.
is straight up the best song in this movie.
it's a good-
It's
Absolutely
okay.
amazing.
It's
so
okay.
good.
It's not my favorite.
No, it's the best. You're wrong.
Okay, but it's
I-
good.
I argue they're
Yeah.
all equally terrible.
There's Sandy has
Brad,
a sad
right down
song
the
at one
middle.
point. She's having a slumber party with the girls.
right.
And she goes to the bathroom and like Rizzo makes fun of her of being like, "Oh, look at me, I'm Miss Perfect." Oh yeah, look at me, I'm Sandra Dee is the song.
Oh, her name is Sandra Dee. You're right.
Yeah,
Sandra Day O'Connor.
yes, exactly.
Wow,
She went on to great things after changing for
amazing.
Danny
Good
Zuko.
for her.
So yeah, like she has some song. Basically, she gets really upset about the girls about Rizzo making fun of her, and I think like has a sad song after that. Maybe she also has one where like she goes to the drive-in with Danny, and like he tries to make a move on her, and she gets mad and like
Right.
gets out of the car. She like slams his hand in the door or something. Oh, I think that's why Kaneki drives. Is because she breaks Danny's hand or
Whoa,
something, and
yeah,
he can't
you're right.
drive.
Oh, I don't remember that, but
That makes sense.
that,
Yeah.
that seems logical.
It's really good. I remember the scene where she like slams the door and he's just like, "Whoa," he makes this like face that's hilarious.
Stop
It's really
getting
good.
fresh with me, Sandy. Come on. Everyone's doing
He's like,
it.
"Come on, Sandy, it's what you do with the movies."
Startling answer in the shocker of the moment.
Sandy! Oh, Sandy.
What's he doing? Get
Oh,
off!
Sandy. Don't worry about it. Nobody's watching.
Danny, get off me!
Sandy, what's the matter with you? I thought I meant something to you.
To you? You think I'm gonna stay here with you in this sin wagon? You can take this piece of tin?
Sandy, you just can't walk out of a drive-in.
Rizzo,
Yeah.
Rizzo thinks she's pregnant. She's flipping out, And Sandy is like the one to comfort her. I think that's how they make up
the
together.
big car race. It's like 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, they eventually. Yeah,
do they
the big
race like down? What's that? California.
the spillways. Yeah,
Spillways.
which is in Terminator 2 and a bunch of other films.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And the evil guy's car has like razor blades on the wheels, and it cuts up the other guy's car.
Yeah, it cuts into like the side down.
And
the
I
side
get nervous
of the
when I'm
doors.
watching that, and I see some cars sometimes, like some usually trucks who have
Yep,
that.
you
same
can have
kind of
those.
Oh,
thing.
the spikes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, scary! My car's gonna get destroyed. Mm-hmm. But this guy's like using like twisted metal tactics to like destroy the other person's car.
Right. Bust out a chain. Just starts.
There's probably like a nitro, like road rash. There's probably like a nitro boost, or like a flame.
The
or
Scorpion's
something.
car definitely has flames coming out the back
Yeah.
because they like show up at a football game to like harass the T-Birds. Basically, be like, "Hey, here's the dorks with a crap car," and the T-Birds like, "You just wait until we have our song."
And they have their song, and they win.
Yep, they win the race. That's all happy. Then they go to the fair.
I even think they have some like
Yeah.
trashy girls on their side that like eventually like flip over or go.
Well, I
to
think the pink
T-Bird
ladies are
sides.
there, and they're like cheering them on,
Yeah.
cheering on the
Could be, yeah.
T-Birds, I believe.
I thought I remember a babe like starts the race, and she's all like in ecstasy. She like drops her thing. I think it's on the guy who's on the Scorpion's girlfriend.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Like his main girl.
Yeah, his main babe. Who, like tries to get with someone else, like tries to get with maybe the guy who's driver, and then Rizzo comes in and like shoves her out of the way.
oh yeah.
Puts a pie in her face too. There's a lot of pies that just show up in this movie and get shoved in people's
Yeah.
faces.
I feel like Rizzo gets mad at Kaneki because I think she tells him that she's pregnant,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, it's not mine. I know how you are."
Oh yeah,
And she gets real upset. She like about
you're the
that.
only one I've been with.
Yeah.
Rizzo. It's for sure yours.
Yeah.
My Kaneki impression. You gotta wave your hand back and forth like that.
So yeah, that's what she knows. And then at the end, yeah, like they make up, but she like yells at him. She's like, "I'm not pregnant." And he's like, "Oh, we could be cool again!
Yay!
Huzzah! Happy endings!"
There you go. That's how you do it.
Yep.
Yep.
And we got the song "Gotta Give Up." Was this? We gotta do.
You're the one that I want.
Yeah.
You are the one. You're the one I want. What a dude. Oh, yes, indeed.
They dance to a weird carnival, like spinning stuff and like weird stuff in the
Yeah,
background.
what's up with the carnival? What is it, like the end of
It's
school?
like the end. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
There's so I think two of
celebrating.
my favorite characters in this are like the principal of the school and then like the secretary in the
I
main
don't
office.
remember those characters.
Like the secretary especially, she does like the morning announcements. Like she plays little chimes to like start them off, and like she just has these funny lines that they're very like.
You think about Ferris Bueller?
No, it's this one. But she has very like Tobias Fugate kind of lines where she's like doing the announcement. She's like, and if you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter, which is, you know, the other term for a cup. And she stops. She's like, wait, like just
I
goofy
see.
things like that. And like
I
she's just like
see.
super burned out on these damn high school kids. Like she's ready for all the seniors to graduate so that there is no more school.
For sure.
She's like, can't wait till they shut this place down. I'm ready to burn it myself.
I'd be curious to see if Sandra should have ended up with
Danny.
With Danny
They're not
at the
going to make
end.
it.
They're not going to
Oh
make
hell
it.
no.
No way.
Do you think that car flew into the sky and then the credits came, but the car came right down
just
afterward?
crashed.
Yeah, it just exploded.
It's like, oh my god!
Or they just get so high they run out of oxygen and just die.
Yeah, they're in space.
Yeah.
just
Like we
frozen.
should have went so
That
high.
car is just like floating in our like atmosphere.
floating
now.
like a Tesla out there,
Yeah.
just
With
like
two skeletons in it. Mm-hmm. Or would they be skeletons? I don't
it's
know.
probably
not.
frozen corpses. Yeah,
Frozen corpses.
man.
That's a good name for a band.
Oh, frozen corpses.
Frozen corpses.
Anything else we want to talk about with Grease?
Man,
I
Teachers?
just
think so.
I'm excited to see.
Do we have
Melissa
to? Do we have to
this.
like do good in school? Does
right?
one
Like,
of
is
the
there
kids
like
has
a
to,
worry
like,
about passing a test?
I
to
gotta get a
out of school?
C?
I bet it's got to be a Kaneki thing where he's just like, if I don't pass this test, I'm gonna get held back for an 8th year.
I want to see a movie with whoever that is. A whole movie. I didn't even understand. He like mumbled some lines. You for a whole year.
Yeah, I mean that's basically Kaneki's whole character. I feel like you can't really understand him anyway. Oh man, I think that's mostly it.
We get. I talked about him a little bit. Do we get to see parents at all?
I don't think so.
Parents don't
see,
exist.
We don't see a home life.
Hell
Parents drop out too.
Danny's just hanging out on the streets with all his friends. The T-Birds just
Hmm.
roaming around there.
I don't think
sleeping
there's
in cars.
any moment with parents.
Wow, Grease Lightning.
Yeah.
no. Right? That's why they're all seniors. All the parents are gone already too. There's no one left in this town.
It's a weird town.
It's like
Just these kids that had to finish high school before the rest of it
it's
closed
like a
down.
Children of the Corn situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
All the kids just turned on and killed all the adults.
Yeah, the principal and whoever that school assistant, they got nothing to do after this. After everybody graduates, they're gonna be all alone.
Grease is scary. I don't want to live in
Depressing
the Grease world.
movie,
It might be one of the worst movie worlds to live in.
You think so?
I mean, other than like a post-apocalyptic cannibal kind of thing.
I'm sure there's worse. Who wants to live in Waterworld?
A lot of people. That'd be
Go
great.
sailing on a boat all day.
Yeah, hang out, drink your own pee.
Yeah,
Drink your own pee.
It's a dream. Living the dream.
Jesus.
That's post-apocalyptic though. Brad already called that
I
out.
don't want to live in the 50s. That'd be bad. So what's the worst part of Back to the Future when he goes to those 50s? He wants to get out. That's why he doesn't stay there. He wants to leave.
I don't know. He almost had sex with his mom. That seems pretty awesome. Wait a second.
Oh, boy.
Wait a second. Oh, that's what almost happened in that movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Finally got some Patreon content.
There you go.
Well, we see what we got right, what we got wrong when we watch Grease, but not Grease 2 with Michelle Pfeiffer, even though that was a pretty good movie.
Oh, yeah.
Really? I haven't seen it. I don't think.
It's a cool
I don't
writer.
think it's good.
It's not, but she's great.
Oh, okay.
Michelle
That
Pfeiffer.
makes sense. That makes
She's
sense.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes, that
There you
makes
go.
sense.
In part 2 of Grease.
Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to what we're sure will be our greatest year at Rydell. Saturday night will be our first pep rally and bonfire, and I want to see all of you students out there with plenty of support for Coach Calhoun and the Rydell Rangers. If you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter. And now for the really good news, and probably one of the most exciting things to ever happen at Rydell High. The National Bandstand television show has selected Rydell as a representative American high school and will do a live broadcast from our very own gym. It's our chance to show the entire nation what fine, bright, clean-cut, wholesome students we have here at Rydell.
Welcome back to the Problematic Podcast. We watched Grease.
Speaking of problematic,
That's what I said. That's what they should have said. Hydromatic.
Hydromatic.
Problematic is what I say. Grease lightning.
yeah.
Tell us about the problems
There's-
that you experienced.
There's
Lots
all
of sexual
problems.
harassment, a little bit of sexual assault.
Kaneki is a special kind of guy who likes to
is.
force himself on women.
A little bit.
And there's that one creepy
That's a
guy.
sidekick friend.
That's
Yeah.
Jeff Conway, who I know from Babylon 5. I don't know if you guys ever watched it.
No,
he's been-
I watched Babylon 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I watched Babylon 3.
It didn't
and
get hot
three
until
and the
5,
third.
you know.
3 was not my
7 was too far.
There's like a kid under the bleachers, like looking up under
just
girls'
looking up girls' skirts.
Oh, yeah.
Doing some upskirts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like Kaneki's like pulling up skirts when the dance contest is happening, flashing ladies.
Like regular, but not even like the dirtbags in the T-Birds. Like regular people, like someone
assaults Sandy D.
Sandy, leaving
And it's
the
just
pep
some weird-
rally, just
Yeah.
random people like lift
Where
her
they,
skirt
like,
up.
Yeah, exactly.
And Frenchie's like, "Excuse me," and they're like, "Sorry."
There's one
and just leave.
goon at the bandstand who's got like a loose tie. We don't ever see him in the movie, but he like grabs Sandy and like takes him out of the contest. And Danny doesn't even see what's going on. He just keeps dancing.
Apparently, that's one of the T-Birds. It was
Really?
Sunny. Did you guys catch all the names? Because
No,
they're hilarious.
No, I can't.
No.
I can't remember anything.
I wrote them down as they came up.
Who's the 50-year-old Italian guy?
That's Sunny. That's Sunny.
yeah.
I mean, that guy was literally 50 years old.
Yes.
Hey.
Way older.
And then the 40-year-old Italian guy that looked
my
like the 50-year-old
God.
is Duty.
Oh,
Duty.
howdy doody.
And
I just think they're just the Three Stooges.
And then the blonde guy is Putsy.
Okay.
I was like,
Putsy.
So Putsy, Duty, and what was
Sunny.
What are these,
Sunny?
the Seven Dwarfs?
and Sunny's the
Or
one
the
that
Seven
whisks,
Idiots.
whisks Sandy away. So, and
Oh.
the pink ladies are Frenchie, which we knew from part 1.
Yeah.
Jan is the
Is
mousy
Jan-
one who
is
does
my
the
favorite?
brush 'em, brush 'em, brush 'em.
No, Dan is not my favorite.
And then Marty is your favorite.
The
Marty
USO
was
girl?
also my
Who was
favorite.
the
USO
second one you
girl.
named?
Jan.
the girl, the
Jan.
with the teeth, and she's like, she literally looks like a
If
mouse.
they could remove her from the whole
Ugh.
thing, I would have been less annoyed. She was
asked
the
up by that one
worst.
guy.
She
We
was the
thought she paired up
worst.
with the Italian guy who is I call him Mousy guy from the other. I was like, we were like, yeah, of course the Mousy girl's got to pair up with the mouse. No, she
Pairs up with the blonde
She
guy.
pairs up with Putsy, the blonde guy.
Oh.
She was the worst. She was so annoying.
But we can all agree Marty's the best one.
Marty, who's which one?
She's the USO girl?
Yeah, she's the one that
She's writing the letters to all the USO.
and hooks up with the American Bandstand host who's
yeah.
like 50.
Oh yes,
I mean,
yes.
the actress I assume is like 30, so it's probably
it's
not
fine.
so bad. But
She's like massaging like the head of that camera. Like she puts her hand
she
on it. I'm
is.
like, oh boy.
she
they're-
comes
they
in
are
other.
hot
She's in
on
other
each
parts
other.
of the movie.
Yeah,
she's in the
one of
background.
she's
Yeah,
one
like
of
I
the
said,
main-
she's the
I only
USO girl. So
remembered
like when
that
Sandy
part.
is like, I don't know about a boyfriend. Like Marty's like, yeah, I have one of mine. She has like her whole wallet full of pictures.
She's
of
essentially
guys
like a
that she
trading
writes.
card catalog of men that she's like writing notes to.
Yeah. Perfect.
Because she's like, they might not come back. They're at the war. They're never gonna see another
Right.
Yeah.
person again.
And she's 30,
doing,
so it's okay.
She's doing them a
I called her
favor.
the in between because she's like halfway between Rizzo and Sandy
Yeah.
in general, like in terms of how she acts and in her position within the Pink Ladies.
Rizzo's not a great person either. And those pink
Yeah.
ladies aren't that great either.
No.
I know the T-Birds give Sandy a lot of, or she like. Did you get very far? Did you get with Sandy? But then we got to the pink ladies and they're like, "You're uptight B, Sandy D," and it's like, well, everybody hates Sandy. She can't do anything
Yeah.
right because she wants to be like she's throwing up in the bathroom and she's getting teased by her best friends.
Yeah, no, there's some interesting
Sure.
stuff. Let's go through the movie because I had some questions, and then we can get to the philosophy at the end because I actually really enjoyed rewatching this, just from
Some of the music was fun.
a film consumption standpoint.
2
Like
songs,
I read it, new stuff into this film that
There
I've
are more
never
than 2
seen
songs.
before.
Blue Moon, which is it's already a great song.
Yeah, so it starts with them on the beach, Sandy and
From Here to Eternity
whatever.
ripoff, right?
Yeah, they're
Come on.
dancing on the beach. Apparently,
Yeah, I forgot about that whole opening.
Yeah.
where
Right.
They already met each other.
Supposedly, according to the song "Summer Lovin'," like Sandy was like almost drowning, and like
Yeah.
Danny saved her.
Which could be an embellishment.
Yeah,
Because Sandy doesn't confirm that. I thought they were in Australia, but Sandy is in wherever Rydell is, which is, I guess, is California
Yeah, somewhere in
Yeah,
California.
she was just at the
The
beach.
location. They
Yep.
were, they just call it the beach.
but they
beach.
so
Spend
the
all summer
first
at the
so yeah
beach.
they do their thing, and then they all go back to school, and everyone is seeing each other again for the first time since school got out. I was like, didn't no one hang out over the summer?
No, everyone
like,
had stuff to do.
Kanicki's like,
Kanicki
I
was
had a
working.
job, but the other guys are all like, hey, it's you, that guy from
They
last
should
year.
have been working on that car.
Yeah. Well, Kanicki had to work to buy the car over the summer.
Oh.
But yeah, I thought that was funky that they just, I guess, it sounds like Danny went somewhere, but as far as I could tell, the beach is not far from them.
No. He said
And
he just hung out at the
that
beach.
none of them hung out over summer. It sounded like the Pink Ladies
Yeah.
were sort of the same. It was weird. I guess that maybe that was just a thing back in the 50s. I don't know.
I think it was just a way for all the characters to like connect.
Or we're in purgatory. We're going to wait. We're going to wait to talk about
Okay,
it.
we'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Like, I will say, Summer Lovin's a good song, but that last note that Travolta hits always ruins it for me.
Summer night. There's also a weird like shot where there's something in the background that like Sandy's supposed to be like a ghost in the foreground, but there's like this weird pole that's like sticking out, and then it'll zoom out again, and then like the school's there, so like
Oh, wow.
like just frame the shot a little bit better, pals.
I will say, like, Travolta ends that song with an awesome pose on top of some bleachers, and Sandy's just sitting. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
give her something to do. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
But that whole sequence was shot so flat and boring and basic. It was like watching a musical.
Yes.
But
Which I
you're
didn't
not
realize-
watching a musical because it's a film, so
Yeah.
There's no
liven it up a
dancing?
little bit.
Now, I mean, this was a musical first, which I didn't. I thought
Yeah,
I
yeah,
assumed
yeah.
the musical came after.
I didn't know that either.
But it was,
well,
yeah.
tell me more, Andy.
Well, I mean, well. Yeah, I had no idea. Like, I guess that sort of also makes sense in terms of why, like, only one of the weirder songs got nominated for Best Original Song is because most of them are not original. They're all from
yes.
the musical.
Sure.
It was just the intro, which was Barry Gibbs, which I should have known immediately.
Which one?
He's the Grease is the word. It's the word.
Is that Barry Gibbs?
He wrote it.
Oh, he wrote it, but
Yes.
it's Frankie Valli from
Right.
Four Seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, Barry Gibbs wrote that.
John Travolta and Olivia sing their songs.
Yes.
Their voices.
And-
And so does
Yeah.
Stockard Channing. That's her voice.
Yes, and she did really good.
Well, they're all
Um,
singers.
Yeah, You're the One That I Want is also
Except Frenchie. She doesn't sing
that's original to the movie, and then Sandy's song that got nominated is
Oh, You're the One That I Want wasn't in the original musical?
No, I guess that was added for the film.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The song after, though,
I like that song
that's
a lot.
That's in the musical. It
We
felt,
go together.
it felt
like
extremely
shamana-mana,
obvious
ding, ding,
to me
ding.
after knowing which ones were new, because they are very different from the ones that are from the musical, which feel straight up doo-wop out of the 50s. All the other ones feel a little bit more disco-y than those ones do.
Well, the Grease is the Word song. Definitely.
That one doesn't fit at all.
No.
That's
No.
not even close to making
There's,
sense.
totally
there's,
different
there's like a
genre.
rock and roll song too, which just has like rock and roll in the lyrics that keep playing over and over again. I think it's during the American Bandstand scene.
Maybe.
In part one, I sort of got the principal and the secretary right. I kind of mixed up the roles, but like, it's,
Yeah, you were good on that.
yeah, the principal lady, who is absolutely hilarious, my favorite character in the entire movie, super funny, and then her
assistant,
her secretary, who's like constantly like breaking shit or messing shit up, like
Yeah,
she
she's
loses
really
everybody's
funny. Or
schedules.
she's just trying
and
to
all
like
sorts of
be a little
stuff,
bit
or-
goofy.
Yeah, the dude,
trying a little
the
too hard.
chimes, the chime bit is like my every time they go to do the announcements, like she's like just embellishing all the chimes, and like the principal's
Yeah,
just like,
and then NBC heard that and they're like, "That's what
yeah.
we need."
It's my favorite. I absolutely love it. Oh man. There's a dance contest. I don't think
Yeah, we
mentioned
didn't
that.
even mention the
National
dance contest.
Bandstand.
Yeah, American Bandstand
Which is
coming in.
American Bandstand is the real one, and this
Yeah.
is a made up one, right?
Yes, I think you're right. I think it's National Bandstand.
And
is.
there's not. Is there a prize? They just get like a dinky trophy.
Okay,
Part of the prize. I
Don't
think,
the point
is
of
being
even
on
wanting
the
to
don't
do
even
this.
ask about it, because this is the worst run contest I've ever seen in my life.
The judges are like getting all up in there with their glasses and their clipboards, like
Yeah.
getting
Well,
weird
and for
marks on you.
90% of this dance,
Nobody has like numbers. How do you know what anyone is?
90% of this dance is Danny dancing with Sandy, and then one of the T-Birds
You can just switch
swaps
them
her
out.
out at the end for the Scorpion Cha-Cha from the
Cha-Cha.
Scorpions, and like they're like, "You're the winners," and I'm like,
You could do just switcheroos.
they just switched up partners, and you declare them the winner.
yeah.
Yeah.
What if you're like playing basketball and then the other people just like switch the team?
Yeah.
They could do that.
Subbing out somebody else. What the heck?
But I think that might actually happen in Mighty Ducks or some other like Disney movie where like midway
probably.
through.
There wasn't really a prize because it wasn't even mentioned in the movie at all.
There's no like
I don't
physical
think it
want
was-
or need.
I don't think there was. The only thing was to
Other than the car.
switch around John Travolta
So-
with the girl
yeah.
so that it made Sandy upset.
But Sandy left before they even won the contest and were dirty
Well,
dancing.
because she got swapped out, and Danny didn't
they
do
met-
anything
Danny's,
about it.
this is where
She
Danny
did bring
lost.
up.
Yes,
she
no.
did bring up like, how do you know this girl? Like, how do you know? And we used to go together.
Yeah.
So they had a history. Although I don't.
Yeah,
they
this
didn't
was interesting
explore
because
that
this
that
is where I
much.
was like, I'm pretty sure that was Sonny that swaps her out. And there were a couple dynamics that I hadn't really picked up on ever watching this movie before, which was in this sense that he's been drifting away from the T-Birds this whole time because of Sandy. And I actually wrote down in my notes, the question was,
Drifting.
did they swap out...
Drifting.
Yeah, Tokyo Drifting. Did they swap Sandy out as just as a prank, or was it because they're trying to get her out of the picture to get Danny back in the birds?
Ooh. There's some sort of...
They punking him.
Because it's really weird.
They're
And,
punking him.
again,
There's
he
some-
goes with it. Like, he's like, oh, cha-cha, all right, fine, whatever, I got to win this contest. And just, like, continues dancing. I thought it'd be like a swaps out, and right at the end they declare them winners. Like, but no, he dances with her for like a solid 5 minutes, and then they win the thing and get another dance, and he does that one too.
They're a little
Yeah.
dependent on Danny. Like, their whole identity is sort of based on him.
Yes, he's. It's weird because they act sort of like Kanicki's the leader, but it seems like Danny is clearly the leader of this
Yeah.
group, and they kind of roll with Kanicki as like the backup.
Yeah,
But
he's
you know, at the
he's the
same
number
time,
two.
he's the one that buys the car. We'll get to the end race scene, which we butchered a little bit.
Yeah, and then
in
Danny
part
Zuko
one.
steals the spotlight.
Yeah,
Come on, Danny.
But yeah, it's a strange. Well, and like so, and Rizzo is like infatuated with Danny, but like dates Kanicki as like a consolation because Danny's like, no, I'm not dating you again. Is kind of the feeling.
I feel like everyone's dated everybody at some point. To some
no, that's
degree.
totally because Danny's dated
Sure.
Cheat Cha-Cha, the Scorpion girl.
Chi-Chi's?
It seems like Rizzo dates the goes with the Scorpions guy
Yeah.
at one point as like revenge.
And then Kanicki like flirts with Frenchie, like right in front of Rizzo when she's acting up
He's,
and gets
like,
the
getting all
milkshake
on
thrown
her.
in his face. Yeah.
So
So they're all just
they're kind of moving around.
Who was the Scorpion leader guy?
Traitor face.
Oh my god.
Craterface?
His name is. I saw his name in the credits, and it's like.
No, it's Craterface, Andy.
It should be Crater. I don't think they say his real name, but he has one in the credits.
Like
he's Scorpion
45
Craterface.
years old.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why they it's weird because they're like, what are the Scorpions doing here? This ain't their turf. And I assume
They graduated high school 20 years ago.
Right. I assume that was because they were from the rival high school, but honestly, they could just be like local dudes. Like they never show them. Or say that they're from another school.
But he's at the dance.
Do you need to be a member of Rydell to be at that dance? I think anybody can
that
go.
dance
I
was
think that's
so
what Andy
poorly
just said.
run.
Yeah.
Like anyone could have gone to that, and everyone else at that high school is clearly 40 years old too. It's not like they would have known.
Right before Danny got that trophy, I should have punched him out and then just paired up with Cha-Cha, and then I would have won.
See,
right?
yes.
That's what you can do in this
Oh
tournament.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh my
It's worse run than a Harry Potter tournament.
It's horrible. It makes no sense. The host the whole time was
Somebody
just,
got that.
What's a
joke.
Harry Potter tournament?
The Phoenix.
the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
Where they just like Harry's in the okay, I guess he's competing. But and the host for the dance contest is flirting with a 17-year-old the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I mean,
Even like the nurse is getting it, or the secretary's getting in on the dancing and the fun.
Yeah.
I like the shop teacher. She was good.
She was awesome. I love at the end when she's pulling the car out with them. She's like, "Are you gonna be there?" And she's like, "Of course I'm gonna be there, guys.
I'm the cool shop
Absolutely,
teacher.
I'm gonna be at this fucking race that you're going to where someone's pulling out a switchblade."
Also, is it the Mike TV's mom from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
It might be. I should have looked because you're right. She looks a lot like her.
You might be right.
Oh,
Like it's part 2. We can use our.
Does look
phones.
like she really does look like her.
Find out in part 3.
right.
Exactly.
Oh man.
The beauty school dropout.
Go
part?
back to high school.
You mean the best song in the entire?
Actually, it's not. It's not my favorite song.
They get in a ringer. Frankie Avalon shows up to sing a.
That
Annette Funicello and Frankie Avalon made a bunch of beach movies in the 70s, Andy. They sang songs. They partied hard.
I didn't even know. Like, why was he there? Who was he?
I'm going to mention a movie called Back to the Beach, which I loved growing up, which now stars in that embezzling Full House girl, who at the time wasn't as Harvard-y embezzled-y. But
Okay.
it's kind of a send-up of those films, and he has to ride a giant wave. And Pee Wee Herman shows up in this movie.
Actual Pee Wee Herman?
And Gilligan, actual Gilligan, shows up in this movie. It's the wackiest film. That
It came out in the 70s?
man.
It came out in the 90s, or maybe late 80s, but it's called Back to the Beach.
Wow.
Never heard of that.
This is like the end of those movies, and they just like did a big parody of all of them.
It's not Mrs. TV, unfortunately. That's a good. That was a good guess,
but
though.
they look sort of similar. Dang,
Yeah.
dog. Miss TV is also
but
funny.
the beauty school dropout.
Go
Like
back to high school.
I didn't know she dropped out of high school already. Like when did that happen?
This whole movie moves extremely fast. I mean, there's not really a great way to show the progression of time, but yeah, like she drops out.
There's like a
she
winter
tells-
carnival or something.
The progression
like
of time
that.
is
She
terrible.
mentions offhandedly in the first diner scene that they're like, she's like, I got accepted to this music school, and Riz is like, you're dropping out, and then almost immediately after you have beauty school dropout, and then
So
she goes
she-
back to high school.
Exactly. When they go to beauty school dropout, you have to accept that she both dropped out of high school
And
and
came
dropped
back.
out of beauty school.
Yep, she drops out of both, ends up back in
Like
high
I
school.
just
right at
found
the
out she
end.
was going, and I just found out she dropped out of one. Now she dropped out of both.
And she just failed because she dyed her hair pink?
She was struggling. She's
Oh
like,
my
it's
god!
harder
And even
than
her
she thought.
voice, I was like so annoyed by it.
There should have been a moment at the end where somebody from the beauty school saw how nice Frenchie made Sandy D look and was like,
Ooh, yeah.
here's your diploma.
Gets her like
know?
final
Yeah.
her resolve. Yeah,
Gets her Chewbacca medal.
she's apparently like the only person to be in like all the Grease movies. I think she comes back for all of them.
also Eugene.
Isn't there only two?
Oh, is
Two.
Eugene in all of them? That's
Eugene's
funny.
in the second one.
Eugene the nerd.
Eugene, I love Eugene.
He's the best.
He's in so many like movies as a nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to know one that we did? That he's in?
Which one?
One we did. He's in.
Probably.
The one that we did? What? Man, what would he have been in?
Man of the House.
No,
Jungle
it was
to Jungle.
it was an 80s movie that we did.
Which one of the guys?
No.
Could have been though.
It's got one of the Brat Pack people.
Uh,
I think he's a Brat Pack person.
Emilio Estevez.
Killed somebody.
Matthew
real
Broderick?
Is he Ferris
He's in
Bueller?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No, he's in War Games.
War Game. Oh,
Oh,
unreleased
the
episode.
secret
I
episode.
think. Yeah.
Patreon
Oh,
only.
I didn't realize. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wait, why did we do it only?
Because the audio got up on
No,
one of them, right?
the memory, my memory card reader died.
We only had a part 2, I think, or something. Yeah.
Okay, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love that guy because he's also
Hey guys, how's it going?
Dexter's Lab. He plays.
he's Mandark?
Was it Mandark?
Mandark is the rival.
He's Mandark. In
as soon as you said Dexter, I was like, of course, that's the voice. Oh my god,
This guy made such a career of just looking like a nerd.
he nailed it.
You gotta respect it.
Nailed it.
He has some of his own
Yeah.
films. He was like in a vampire movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like nerdy vampire, and there's like a hot babe in the back, and he's just like, oh my god, I'm a nerd. I don't know what to do with hot vampires.
Man,
Yeah, we gotta watch all this guy's movies.
His name is like Dennis
Of course it is.
something.
Yeah,
I forget
right.
what it is.
What a
It's
nerd name.
Dennis Deezer or something. It's something real stupid.
wow.
Yeah.
Dennis Dorcas.
He sold it well.
Yeah. Oh man. So
There's only one person who leaned that hard into being a nerd, and it's him.
Yeah, and Screech. That's all you get.
It's
Yeah,
great.
that's
Okay,
true.
And
There you
Urkel.
go,
That's
there
all
you
you
go.
get. Urkel,
Yeah.
Screech, and that guy. The triumvirate.
all of
the
them.
nerd triumvirate.
Why did they ever make a movie together?
There was supposed to be an Urkel movie coming out, and it got canceled when the HBO Max Discovery merger happened.
Which one? A Screech or Urkel?
Urkel.
Urkel. Okay.
It was gonna be
But
an
then Dustin
animated
Diamond
film.
died, right?
Man.
Yeah.
Didn't he die? Okay.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Keep going.
I'm confused by
What else is new?
Danny and Sandy this whole movie. So
Yeah.
she gets mad because he kind of acts cool for a
But
minute.
she's sort of a jerk too, because she's flirting with hot hunks.
Well, but no, even before that, like right when they meet after Summer Lovin', when Rizzo, they all realize who she met on the beach. They all laugh and don't tell her that he's at high school. Finally, they're like, all right, we gotta get them
We
together.
gotta get these two together.
And
Because
Danny's-
Rizzo's a jerk.
Rizzo's a jerk to Sandy. She doesn't like her.
Yeah.
There's not even a moment to like resent her. There should have been a moment like Nikki like flirted with her.
We'll
or
get into
something.
so this is part of the thing
Rizzo's
that I
just a bad person.
never noticed before. So there's a deep class struggle that happens in this film where the T-Birds
Class of
and at
78.
least Rizzo are very working class kind of people and are also sort of the counterculture people. And Sandy is not any of those things. Like she is very
presented to be,
she's
like,
presented
rich
very middle class.
and
Yeah,
stuff?
exactly. She's presented as pretty well off. She's presented as like the prim
She's
50s
uptight.
caricature
Also.
of that sort of middle class culture. So
Yeah.
there's this inherent resentment from Rizzo and stuff. And the film overall, I think, is extremely sympathetic to the rebellious, the counterculture movement of both the T-Birds and Rizzo and some of the other Pink Ladies. The only we guessed in part one if there's any parents in this film, and there's not.
No.
The closest we get is we see Frenchie's
adults,
house,
yeah.
which is a pretty nice house. But that's like the only home life we get for any of them.
Right. Which leads into my purgatory theory.
But yeah, that's where you get like from the other scenes, like Kaniki like asked Rizzo for money, like he worked all summer to buy like this crubby car. They steal parts to build it. And sort of there's this sort of underlying current of that's sort of where this resentment lies, and that's Danny's trying to act tough and cool, and Sandy's like, but you're not being the
Authentic
same
to yourself.
you,
If
I
you're not the
guess.
same guy that would play with me on the beach and
Right, when you're around your buds,
around.
Yes.
you put on a front.
yeah,
Yep.
is what he was doing.
got
He wasn't
you
being
got a
himself.
You got a split personality, Danny Zuko.
Because he really
Yeah.
does like her a lot.
He
I mean,
does.
there are times where he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to act that way.
Does he
Right.
like her?
I mean, okay, so this is again where I
so.
get into
'Cause-
it. So
'cause
everyone laughs
The
about
drive-in scene makes me think he doesn't.
Yes, so this is where I was confused. This is what what I was getting
yeah.
to is, she gets mad at
Forgot about
him.
that scene.
Then she's like, yeah, but I really do. He's super hot. Gets back with him. They do the dance bit where she gets swapped out for Cha-Cha. Danny's like, sure, I'll dance with Cha-Cha again. They dance. He off screen apologizes over the phone.
Over the phone.
They go to the drive-in. He immediately tries to
Okay.
make a move, and
Yeah.
I'm like, bruh,
Touch her bub.
like. What are you doing?
He gives her class ring or something.
Yeah,
But
wear
he's
my
like-
ring, please.
But he's just like he's just trying to get in her pants.
But at the same time, he does join the track team to try and win her back, as in like,
Right.
and like
Well,
literally,
he tries out
he
for
tries
everything.
which
many
is one of my
different sports.
favorite bits of the movie is when he first shows up and the coach is like, well, first you're gonna have to change, and he's like, well, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to change.
That's a great.
It's a great line, and then the coach is like, no, I mean your clothes.
Yeah.
Well, great great bit, super good. And
The coach was funny.
yes, the coach is
his pep
hilarious.
rally speech.
Dude, all the administrators are
Even
great
the-
in this movie.
Yeah.
The pie throwing at the
Yes.
end.
If you'd been to my class, you wouldn't have flunked.
In part 1, I kept on going on about somebody getting a pie in the face.
Yep.
And it happened.
It happened. It's the coach at the end.
What?
For the teacher's retirement fund.
What?
And it was
At the
Eugene
carnival.
that threw the pie.
Yeah.
Yes. And the coach is like, hey, Eugene, I need you on my team.
And then Eugene gets
and then
pied.
Eugene gets pied because the T-Birds are mad
It
that
was
they're
also like
idiots.
cream pie a teacher. It was like written on like or like cream a teacher.
I
or
didn't see
something.
that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh, man.
No.
But yeah, Danny immediately tries to like straight up make a move on her. Which is absolutely not the right play, inappropriate in all sorts of senses.
Yeah. Tries to grab the boobs.
And it's like a complete regression from everything he's built so far in
And
the film.
learned,
And that's
yeah.
where I'm like, well, who are you? I don't understand who he is.
And then he gets his own song where he's like talking about how much
stranded at the drive-in.
he loves her.
Yeah.
And I was like, you pushed her away.
Yes.
You knew she wasn't going to be into that kind of
No.
thing.
And you were like trying to trick her into it the whole time.
Yeah.
Like obviously it was clear to you that like you're the only way that was going to happen is if you're like being deceptive or
Right.
something.
Guys, he's 16 years old.
Yeah, 36 years old.
There wasn't even a moment where he was like looking over and like seeing like other people make out and being jealous. He was
Yeah.
just
No.
he was just
He's
being
just-
a jerk.
Yeah.
He's like, this is
being a
what I
jerk.
got to do if I
He's
want
like,
to
everybody
get laid.
does this.
Everybody just grabs boobs at a drive-in.
Yeah.
And the top down, everyone's looking. She makes the point.
at the drive-in.
Yeah.
Did everyone enjoy his face when he gets his ham slammed in the door or whatever?
His ham got slammed.
His ham got slammed.
Ham got
Oh
slammed.
no, his ham.
his
His ham.
His fully erect ham. Because
oh.
I think that's what happened, Andy.
that could be.
Because I think his hands
He
like
got
above
a
the
hilarious
door.
face and like falls
Yeah.
backwards, but then he recovers pretty quick.
Ham slam.
I think he got his member.
His bingle bang?
His bingle bang got dingle donged in the car.
His
door.
dorkles?
His
Yeah.
wing wang got slammed instead of bing
Dang.
bonged.
Yeah. Right,
no good.
right on the door.
Yeah, that
no
makes
good.
sense.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Now again, but everyone laughs about this film and they're like, "Oh, well, all she had to do was become exactly this opposite person, and he didn't have to do it." But he did. He lettered in track.
Also, there's
Like he's wearing his
Yeah.
sweater at the carnival, and
tried.
the T-Bird's like, "Whoa, look at this."
He's like,
jock.
"I changed."
Like and they're like,
Literally.
"Dude, Danny, what
track.
happened to you? You're not a T-Bird anymore." He's like, "Yeah, because I like Sandy, and now I can't be a T-Bird." Like he's straight up being like, "No, I'm a different person now because I like her that much." Like I never saw this in any other like time I've watched this film. Like I felt the same way about
really?
the simplistic end reading of she had to completely change and he's the same person at the end. But that's not the case. They sort of meet in the middle, not really the middle. It's very much more on Danny's side.
Wait a second. I will defend this because if you listen to the lyrics and you better shape up.
You're all
it's all about him.
Well,
you better shape
yeah,
up.
he needs to shape up.
You need to change.
Exactly
Danny
right.
Zuko.
And I never paid attention to those words before too, because you're right. She shows up in his clothes, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm rock hard right now." He's like literally rolling around on the ground,
I'm gonna get slammed in the door.
and she's just
Oh my
like,
God.
"Yeah, it's amazing, but." Fix yourself, bitch.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm doing it. And I was like, man, I genuinely have never seen this before watching this movie.
It's not
It was
about
a
her
revelation.
changing. It's about her wanting him to change.
Yes, and
which
he's
I didn't get
and
until
he's
I saw
willing
it this
to
time.
do it.
You
At
seem
the
like
end,
you're
at
not
least.
sold on that.
Man,
No, you
It was
guys are
wild.
funny too because it's the exact opposite of what the musical's about.
oh really?
Yeah, I read the Wikipedia a little bit last night, and the movie obviously is based off of 50s tropes,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Even like the start of rock and roll. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those 50s movies where it's like a guy and a girl, the guy is the greaser and the girl in the story brings the guy over to her side where he changes
Yes.
for her. Mm-hmm. But when the guy wrote the musical, he wanted to reverse that where the girl changes.
Yeah, and I actually
For
wrote that in
him.
my notes. Was I like sort of the subversion of the Tame the Rebel trope, where they don't do that. They're like the ending is
he purposely
she
wrote it
becomes
opposite,
sort of
which
the
maybe
wild
doesn't.
one.
It doesn't really play
but
that well.
But again,
Also,
long term.
seeing him win the race gives that her impression to do that? That doesn't really make a ton of sense.
No,
Well, actually, too, the other thing is this movie cut out so many parts. I have never seen that.
How do they do
musical.
the race part in the musical? Do you know the actual play?
They probably have
They
like
probably have
characters
like they're off
like,
screen
on,
and you hear car noises, and then they're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yay, he won!" And he comes back in or something.
they might have like characters in a car and it's not really moving, but like the
Okay.
background could be moving
Yeah,
or
something
something.
like that
You could
could-
do
true, that's
driving
true.
scenes in theater.
Mm.
But the movie cuts out a lot of songs and parts because apparently the Grease musical is supposed to be extremely raunchy. Like extremely, like way more than the movie
and, like
is.
that. I mean, that was kind of the style at the time. Then
We
yeah.
way more
performed this
raunchy.
in middle school too, and I was like, now I'm looking back on it, it's like there had to have been an edited version.
Oh, I
yeah,
bet.
yeah,
like
for
an
sure.
edited play of what's going on in Grease
Yeah.
the musical.
Well, yeah, I think it was like very dirty and raunchy, and it came out in 1971 or 72 or something like that.
Sure. You get to see. I'm so glad you guys didn't warn me about the male butt. I told you since Joyride.
In this movie?
If there's male butt in a film, you gotta let me
was
know.
there male butt?
When the National Bandstand Contest happened.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
You talking about mooning?
Those three greasers.
Mooning and butts are not the same unless you're an FBI butt analyst.
They dropped trowel and they mooned the audience. I've gone from 2 butts to 3 butts. We're gonna watch a movie with 4 butts, and you're not gonna tell me there's a
more
4 butt
butts.
man movie?
Brad consumed more butts than he can tolerate.
Man, that's gonna be a great day when we get the 4 butts. I can't wait.
What movie are you
Quad
guys
butt.
setting me up for to hit the quad butt? I don't know what it could be.
It's gonna be exciting.
The quad
It's gonna be a
butt
good day,
stacker.
Good day. But yeah,
Oh God! The new at Burger King.
yeah.
The new Burger King, the quad butt stacker.
But yeah, I mean, it was really interesting. Just this sort of realizing that there's this class struggle inherent in this, and that the movie is very sympathetic to sort of the freedom aesthetic of the counterculture greasers. And so that's where Sandy sort of realizes that being like sort of the prim and proper style, like doesn't, she's like, it's kind of shallow and fake, and kind of ditches some of that.
Yeah.
It's I had never
She
really
aged so much
noticed any of
when they
this.
changed her into
Oh,
a
yeah.
greaser. I was like, oh, she's
Yeah.
now 10 years older than she looked
She's
a
like
second
so
ago.
much makeup on her face,
And her
too, like
hair
hiding
looks
it.
horrible.
Yeah, she
Well,
was
because Frenchie
29.
did it, and she flunked out of beauty school. So
That's fair.
That's a great point, Andy.
Frenchie's the nicest person in this whole movie.
I'm Team
the
Frenchie.
whole time.
God.
Absolutely, Frenchie's the best. Like,
Even though she just stabbed Sandy D in the ear.
well,
you know,
yeah,
that's
but
not great.
that's just because she's trying to do beauty school stuff, and
That makes
isn't
her
good at
vomit
it.
in the
Yeah, it makes her puke. But yeah, I mean, we in part 1 we kind of nailed the Rizzo and Kaneki bit.
Except we thought, or at least I did, that Kaneki was like, "Oh, you probably sleep around, Rizzo. It can't be mine. It's the other way around."
Yeah, you're right. She kind of says like, "Oh,
Yeah.
who? I don't even know if it's yours." And he like doesn't believe her, but he wants to believe that it's not his. I think so. He kind
I
of
don't
accepts it and
know.
leaves. But he has this like he really does fall for her. I feel like right away.
Yeah.
And she's hung up on Danny for I feel like at least half of this movie. And
Well, Kaneki is also a little bit hung up on Danny.
that's
They have that
yeah,
moment
they got
right
the
before
moment.
they go.
We got to talk about the race because we butchered this in part 1.
There's some moments here where Kaneki and Danny, like,
Yeah.
they got a case of the not gays pretty bad.
They do, and they do the hilarious like,
Oh,
come there, macho guys, go lift some weights and drive some cars. They do, yeah. So this is where we thought that Danny was supposed to drive, but Kaneki ends up driving theoretically because his hand got smashed. That was my guess.
Not true.
Not
Yeah,
true.
it
It's the other way around, sort of. It's Kaneki's car,
Yeah, yeah.
so he's
Kaneki-
gonna drive.
Kaneki like fake passed out.
Do you think he faked?
I think he fake
I
passed
think
out.
he faked it.
I think he didn't want to do it.
I don't think he could do it.
I think he wanted to do it.
He agreed pretty quickly to have
He's
Danny
like, yeah,
drive that car.
He's like,
And
ah!
I was like, everything I know
I
of
think I can't
Kaneki
drive.
tells me he would not have normally done that.
Yeah.
He would have fought hard to drive with a concussion.
Minnie Mouse finds a penny on the ground.
Yes.
Hands it to her. We just talked about her.
Yeah,
hands
the
it to
chipmunk girl.
Kaneki.
Oh,
He
Pam.
drops it and he
Okay.
gets bunged in the head.
Oh, God.
She's at fault too.
That was the most forced bit
That-
of exposition in this film.
that
Like, oh, a lucky
girl.
penny. Here you go, Kenny. Oh, no, I dropped it. It was like,
Kaboom.
that felt real stiff. But yeah, so then like,
and
Blondie.
Danny's like right away. You want me to drive for you? Can I am I
It's
gonna
like,
drive for
yeah.
you?
Though because they had they did
Let me
have the
drive.
I did like the scene where they had that connection where they like acknowledge are willing to acknowledge that they're each other's best friend. Where Kaneki's like, hey, I was watching this movie and like these guys dueling. They have like their best friend be their second. Hey, will you be my second? And Danny's like, what, you want me to drive?
It's the 50s.
No, do you get what I'm saying? And Danny's like, yeah, man, I love you. And then they do, I mean, we're tough guys.
I was watching all these like bodybuilder films that like get me thinking about our relationship and how maybe
I was looking at those male bodies and I was just really thinking about you.
The form. It's the form. The form's good.
I appreciate the form.
But I like the scene because
Buff dudes.
when Danny and him are finally just like, yeah, man, like, we're besties. We get it. And he's like, I'm there, man. I'll be there for you if you need me at the race. And then he does need him. And you're right. It does very much feel like he chickened out, sort of. He got scared and kind of backed out of the race. So Danny's the one that drives in not a well-shot car chase. It felt very slow.
No.
I will agree. It felt slow. They were like, zip.
And I was like, and I believe that those cars were slow because they
add a lot of
huge and
extra
heavy.
dirt on
but, like,
the track.
You can shoot it in a way that makes it fun to watch
dirt,
and
like
looks fast.
splashes on the camera lens.
Yes.
Yeah, like they added dirt to the track so that it looked like dust was shooting up.
They do have the
on that
spikies.
rampy thing?
Yeah, do have the spikies and,
Yeah.
and cuts up the car Ben-Hur style.
But he does the spikies too much, and his hubcap
and
explodes.
it kind of breaks his wheel a little bit, and then Danny makes a sick 1 foot jump off the ground in his car, which destroys that car.
Yeah, that car is like
that car got
done.
It works so. Like,
It was done.
Here's what I'm thinking too. Like,
Don't go 1 foot off the ground in that
the
car.
stakes for these kinds of races is usually you get the other person's car.
Which they did explicitly were like, we're racing for pinks. We joked in part one about
racing
that, but
for
that is
pinks.
literally how that scene goes down. He's like, I hope you're not attached to that car, says Scorpion guy.
Yeah.
Crater face. Because he's like, because we're racing for pinks. And then Danny's like, what the fuck? Are you serious? He's like, yeah, pink slips, the thing you own the car. And I think Danny was like, no, I was just serious. Like, were we really racing for pinks? Like, that seems a little overzealous in this kind of a situation. But.
Yeah.
But like, you don't want either of those cars by the time that race is over.
What was the track they were racing on? Like,
they just had to go
down
back
and around and back.
around.
well, then why go up the hill thing? Why
He was trying to
go up
avoid the spiky wheels. And then
If you want to be faster, just go
And
straight.
they makes that jump though, and then the Scorpion guy hits like a puddle of water, and it sort of spins out. He looks like he just gives up. It doesn't even look like he really loses the. He just is like, fuck it.
Yeah, it was like
that dude made a
driving,
sick
and then
jump,
he spins out, and he's just like,
he got me.
rats. Next
And
time.
there's not really like an end line. Like Danny just kind of like after that point he just wins.
Yeah, he just sort of like
because the other car I
like,
guess it can't move.
They
or
just
it's
all
like-
agree. They're like, oh, it's over. And he sort of pulls back up to where everyone is, and Sandy's been watching from a
his
distance.
car
and
is
like
destroyed.
Oh God, yeah.
Both cars are just like
the Scorpion's
done.
one is all messy because it got sprayed with like dirty water. And and Danny wrecked that fucking the Karate Kid car.
Did they drive in the car at the end, or what car was that?
No, that was a different one. The one they drive in the end is like the one that they fake build in the imagination of Grease Lightning, where it has the glass hood and the crazy fins on the tail. It's like that car that they had in like their dream.
I mean,
garage.
like they raced for pinks, but like the car never came back. So did it matter? At all?
They got the Scorpion's car now.
It's like
so
they dance in the
an extra car.
bandstand, but the bandstand doesn't
They have
come.
two broken cars. Maybe they can build one working car out of it.
They had him do all these sequences in the movie, but none of the sequences were really that relevant to the plot.
Yeah, I don't know. Like again,
you're 100% right.
So many of these characters go back and forth so fast. Time passes.
I don't need to say
extremely
anymore.
fast.
I'm done.
It's a things happen movie.
It's all it is.
Yeah.
It's very confusing, and there's some interesting themes that you can explore, but they don't get deep enough into them to make a meaningful statement. I think.
Let's get deep into Grease. Do we think it's the afterlife? And it's them
so we can talk about the
escaping
fan
at the
theory.
end,
Yes.
going to heaven.
I did read about this,
And maybe the Scorpions are like the Grim Reapers or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
boy.
Andy, the theory is that the initial story of Danny saving Sandy drowning,
He drowned.
she drowned, and this is sort of
Jacob's
her
ladder.
flash of life before she's gone. And that's
Okay.
why when they fly off in the car, that's her finally dying. This was
Okay.
all in her,
Oh, wow.
in her mind as she's dying on the
It
beach.
happened in just like a couple seconds.
Yeah,
At the end of
There's
her
a lot
life.
of coincidences in the film.
there are.
And she like can't like escape Rydell. Like we're always in Rydell.
Yeah, right.
We're not going anywhere
It's
else.
very purgatory. At the same time, I was like, yeah, whose fucking life is going to flash before their eyes where they're miserable for a school year? Like, that sucks. That's unfortunate for her.
Or nobody can see that everyone's aging, and like
Ooh.
that's how long they've been there. Like when you go into the Rydell Purgatory world, you still age normally,
Right.
but you're still in high school as a
So
senior.
all those other guys, they flew away nice and
That's
happy,
fair.
but everyone else is still stuck.
Everyone's
there.
stuck, but maybe one person will get a chance. Like every time.
That's true, because from
someone
what she
escapes,
knows of Danny,
just
like the
passes.
T-Birds
The
are
curse
fake.
passes.
She made them up at this point, effectively, because they don't make any sense with his personality. That's totally legit.
It might be possible that Sandy never even talks to one of the other T-Birds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She only met Danny and
Yeah.
then made up everyone else.
Interesting.
Which explains
That
why
would-
he's so different from her experience on the beach with how he is in the school.
That would make sense why in that one scene, Death was singing, "You're the one that I want."
That's kind of a scary song if you
Yeah.
really think about it. If we do the 2020 like fake trailer for a movie and do that song,
Yeah, do the alternate cut, the horror movie cut of this movie.
We go together like wop bop doesn't work. Oh, man.
This was a fun rewatch because there was
I
a
enjoyed
lot,
parts of
a lot
it.
of stuff that I never noticed
I
before.
fast forwarded some songs. I fast forwarded
fair.
Grease Lightning, guys. I couldn't do it.
The first song?
I couldn't do Grease
Wow,
Lightning.
Grease
no,
Lightning.
No, Grease is the first song.
Oh, yeah, go.
sorry,
Bruce
Lovin'
Lightning,
Seconds. No, I was the theme song.
There was like a fun part in that. I actually appreciated when they switched from them at the high school to them in like the musical version where they're singing
Yeah.
it. I thought that part was shot well, and there are some fun bits where there's other people at the shop as they're like talking about working on the car, and they start breaking out into song, and there's like two guys back there that are just like watching them like, why are these guys singing right now?
Yeah.
They had these weird
Yeah.
faces, and it was kind of
There's some
funny. It made
good.
me
There's some
laugh.
bits that feel directly ripped from the stage that don't make sense on film. Like when they first start working on the car, two of the guys like carry a bumper under the car, and they're like, "Kaneki, watch out!" And they come over him, and then they walk right around to the back where they came from to put it on the car. And I was like, "What? Why'd you go under the car? Like, what was that?"
Now
small
that
thing
you
that
remind me
doesn't
too, like there's even elements that weren't really that explored, but I think they're a bit more central to the plot in the musical is the teen pregnancy bit,
Yeah,
Sure.
which we forgot about.
No,
we mentioned it.
we mentioned it.
Where
In
Rizzo
part one?
thinks she's
Oh, yeah.
she thinks she's pregnant.
Oh, okay.
And like that's where
I think that's
did like-
expanded upon in the musical.
I
but
thought this one
is,
was funny where like
not
she tells
Yeah.
important
she
in
tells
this.
Marty. Rizzo tells Marty about this in the bathroom and is like, "Now,
Yeah.
Marty, you can't fucking tell anybody."
That's a great scene.
Marty immediately tells the
Blabbermouth.
very first person who's a T-Bird that walks up to her.
the 50-year-old.
And then it
Italian
follows Rizzo
Yeah. walking
walking through the drive-in, and all the people
In the
spreading the
foreground.
rumor immediately,
Yeah.
like parallel
Getting to
with her
Kaneki.
to Kaneki right at the end when he gets there, and then he's like, "Hey, Rizzo, I just heard something." Great, I thought that was a lot of fun. That was
Yeah.
really neat.
Also, when like Rizzo and Kaneki are like getting it on in the car, the Scorpions like drive by and like mess with
They
the
just
mood.
back into his car.
They back into his car, but then they still bing bong after that. It's
Yeah,
like
man.
it's not enough to end the night. They're like, oh, I guess that happened.
Even like, how are you pranking somebody by smashing your car into theirs?
It's a good question.
You're just ruining your car.
And their car's already shitty. Like you're just smashing your nice car into their shitty
Yeah.
car. Like what?
It's like to prove a point, you're like smashing your Cadillac, your brand new Cadillac into someone's like Dodge Neon.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not gonna be in the mood to bing bong after your car gets in an accident.
I mean, if your car's shitty, you're like, come on, nothing lost.
I don't know.
I was
They
gonna
made
fix
the
it
movie
anyway.
Crash.
Ooh.
Remember the movie Crash?
Which one?
Academy Award winning Crash?
That one or the one where people get off in car crashes?
That one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, was it David Cronenberg one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where people get into
remember.
accidents and then they have sex.
Yeah.
There you go. See, it's a real thing, Brad. What the hell?
It's in a movie. It
Is
counts.
Is it real? Yeah, exactly.
It's in a
real
David Cronenberg movie.
forever.
Of course, he only does realistic films
Yeah.
that could happen in the real world. We've done one of them on
Yeah.
the show.
History of Violence. Is that
Yeah.
real? I don't know if that's real.
No.
Yeah, I wonder how
Comic
much of all this confusion is caused because of like the cuts you were talking about from the musical. If it just
Yeah.
is a victim of the
Confusion?
stage giving you a longer format than a movie does.
You can just do more on a stage than you can. You got to tell
Yes.
a story in a movie. You can't just have song after song.
Yeah.
of characters not being developed and people just singing for no reason. And there's too many solos in this movie. I want more ensemble pieces.
I genuinely like.
Come on.
I'm convinced that this was the very first time I've seen Rizzo's second song.
Right.
I didn't remember that
I'm over
at
that.
all. I was like, I have never seen
solo
this.
Zuko.
What
I
was
don't need a
the
solo
second
Rizzo.
song?
It was right.
It was when she's in like the front of the.
She's in front of the school and she's watching Kaneki like get his car fixed. He's got the hood up and he's like fixing it in the distance.
I forgot what her song's even about.
Yeah, like she does a good job, but I was like, I've never heard this song before. I feel like I've watched this movie a million times, no idea what this song is. And I also, at the same time, I think it's interesting because the song itself is sort of about her struggle of like, you know, uncertainty of her feelings plus this potential pregnancy. And I think this might be a victim of us just being dudes, and that like this is stuff relatable to women of their issues, and that like we sort of tone it out because it doesn't apply to us necessarily, because it is kind of a deep song for her talking about these sort of internal struggles she has at the school as a woman. And I was like, yeah, I don't remember this song at all. I've just never paid attention to it.
Yeah.
It was like, not for me, a tough guy like those T-birds. So, yeah.
Do you remember how it goes?
No, you have to look it
don't.
up. Rizzo and Maddie show up in Beauty School Dropout, which I didn't notice before. They're one of the dancer singers.
Yeah, well, and then two T-birds come by on wires at the end, too, as like little cupids flying by.
That's pretty fun.
It's pretty good. That song is the best, I'm telling you.
Because Frenchie has to stay over at the
diner.
and
she's trying to figure out her life.
She has weird dreams.
She's like, can I stick around and be a...
Yeah.
Well, how's being a waitress?
And all those old ladies.
The waitress is like...
for this.
Yeah. Exactly.
Blue hair. You gotta be the blue hair like me.
It could be a telephone operator. No. Get out, Frenchie. You don't know. Your life's over.
Let's go marry Rich. You're in the 50s.
There you go.
Make it happen. You're a good looking lady.
Yep. And then she does pair up with the like basically unnamed T-Bird at the end, the middle guy.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just keep coming and coming. This movie's 2 hours long.
Yeah, this movie.
And it's 1978. I'm sitting in a 2 hour long theater watching this happen. Too many songs.
That's the era of Travolta.
He's good.
He is good.
He's got his dancing.
Oh
his
man,
singing.
dude, he nails all.
What are you talking about?
And he's so
have you guys
charismatic.
ever watched Saturday Night Fever?
I love it.
He's super
yeah,
good.
I think he started shooting it
Super
like
good.
right while this one was finishing production. But
his
Staying Alive
of his dancing ability.
Yeah.
He's a great
the movie
dancer.
is something else, but
and like just watching him doing his songs when he's smiling, he has like that perfect dimple in his chin.
Oh, hey.
He just looks like he's so charming and charismatic
he's
this whole
23
time.
in the movie too. He's like one of the younger actors.
This is one of those ones where I think a lot of this movie is also just helped by, I think him and Olivia Newton-John have a really good chemistry in this film, and that sells a lot of it that might not have worked otherwise. Well, yeah, exactly. You know,
Hello.
Was that invented in 1978?
those thetans make a difference. But yeah, this was so much fun to go back to. I'm glad we did this one.
Yeah.
More musicals.
Thank you for joining us on that episode and every episode that you do. The next movie we're doing has the tagline, "They're on a cross-country adventure to the world's greatest video championship. It's more than a game, it's the chance of a lifetime." We remember the Wizard.
Just where do you think you're going, boy?
California.
Though Jimmy is a heavily traumatized boy, he has a certain fixation with building, stacking. I'd like to think that he's searching for a way to express himself.
We're thinking about putting him into an institution.
Well, you want to see that happen? Huh? You want to see him put Jimmy in a home?
That's Christine's decision.
He hasn't changed
come
ever
on,
since
Dad.
Jennifer. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't say anything.
He's a wizard. You want to go to California. And you want to prove that Jimmy doesn't belong in a home. Do you think they put him in a home after he won this? A video game contest. You got 50,000 on Double Dragon? He's good, but he never beat Lucas. Nobody's better than Lucas. Oh, really? Lucas is awesome.
So, you the wizard?
He's headed for the video championships in Los Angeles.
Is that right?
Well, let's just see how good he is then. Guys, by the way, I'm headed to the championships too. Power glove.
What is that?
Pick any game you want.
Know all 97 of them?
I love the power glove.
3 finalists, 1 champion. Who will survive? Video Armageddon.
I give you Video Armageddon.
2, 1.
Gimme, gimme, gimme! Gimme! What? You have 3 contestants. 1, 2, 3! Oh, I did it!
My son's a fine.
Jimmy! Super Mario Brothers 3!
The Wizard.
Hey, Lucas, man, that was great. You're gonna rip their gizzards out, man.
Yeah, look, Dork Lips. Why don't you just make yourself useful and get me a cold drink?